Yes.
Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome back to some of us, myself included, after a bit of a pause during the month in August for a little bit of holiday and tech-free reinvigorating and reimagination of our respective roles within the IPM family at this time of pandemic and ongoing political discord and all the other issues we're dealing with in the world. I'd like to ask all of you before we start that we just take a moment to center ourselves and keep in our thoughts and prayers and meditation practices those who continue to suffer from the impact of the pandemic, from the tropical storms of this hurricane season, from the fires on the west coast of this nation, and all those who are struggling with decisions about going back to work, going back to school, seeing their loved ones as we head into a new flu season, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, and the spread of the novel coronavirus continues to really ratchet up unabated in places like India and Brazil that are so dear to us. Let's just take a moment. Thank you. My name is Joe Cistone, and for those of you who may not know, I'm the CEO of IPM, and I'm thrilled to be back with you this Friday in our second of our post-August weekly forums at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're taking these first few weeks of September to reacquaint and update folks with our work around the world so that those of you who are members of the IPM family are fully abreast of what's happening with our virtual immersion experience program, which we presented upon, Vicki did last week. And we had our first forum last night with a Methodist youth group from Virginia, which was very exciting to see that kick off. And if you'd like to learn more about the Virtual Immersion Experience program, you can reach out to Vicki or me directly by our website, email, WhatsApp, SMS, whatever's most convenient for you. We're really excited about the upcoming programs we have with a number of institutions and organizations across the United States who will be virtually immersing themselves in El Salvador and Colombia and India in Kenya and other places over the next 6 to 9 months. So please feel free to let us know if you're interested, particularly in the upcoming Open Immersion Experience program, the virtual program we're planning in El Salvador in conjunction with the anniversary of the 4 churchwomen's martyrdom this coming late November, and the anniversary is in early December. Today, we're thrilled to get an update from our Director of Programs and Partnerships, Adela Zayas, who also serves as the Regional Director for our office in Latin America and the Caribbean. Adela is a wonderful colleague and a deeply committed member of the IPM team, and she's really been leading our efforts in response to COVID-19, particularly in our home region of Latin America and the Caribbean, since the pandemic first hit. Things are now opening in El Salvador, as I'm sure she'll share with you, and that presents all kinds of challenges because much like in many parts of the United States, things are reopening without adequate testing, contact tracing, really quarantine, even mask wearing, and certainly without a vaccine. So as people are going back to work there, much as they're going back to work in school in the United States, the numbers are growing, and that is really disconcerting to us. At the same time, it's certainly wonderful that our staff and friends are able to be with our project partners throughout El Salvador and the rest of the region, as well as in South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Adela, who will speak to this topic, as you can see if you're with us on Zoom or Facebook Live. And as always, feel free to chat a question into that function or to type something in directly into the Facebook feed, and we'll try to answer those questions for you when Adela has completed her presentation. Thank you all again for joining us. And Adela, I'm happy to turn it over to you at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you everyone for participating in this Friday forum. I would like to share with you a little bit of our project partners' current successes and challenges in the region of Latin America and the Caribbean in the midst of COVID-19. I am going to take a few moments to discuss and to share with you these successes and the challenges that we have been witnessing with the conversation and the meetings that we have been having with different project partners, especially focusing in El Salvador, in Nicaragua, and in Colombia. As you heard before from my colleagues, Victoria and Eneida, they were in the Dominican Republic and they shared with us many of the successes and the challenges that they have over there. So I'm not gonna focus a lot on that region in this presentation, but we'll be taking time to share about these three countries that I mentioned before. And so first, as an introduction, I would like to share with you that these COVID-19 crisis have bring a lot of difficulties and a lot of changes in the way that our communities work together, that our project partners work together. And so there has been a lot of changes between now and then, before and after COVID-19. And I would say that the new work model that our project partners have adjusted, it's very resilient. And resiliency, understanding resilient as the capacity of that all humans have to adapt with positive results to a difficult or even traumatic situation. And so the way our project partners were working before COVID-19 was the first square that you're looking into, which was they were gathering, they were having regular meetings that require physical contact in many ways. They were participating in different events that also require some activities. They were defending human rights. They were attending workshops to learn more about different topics. They were attending marches or protests, as you call in the United States. Also, they were getting involved in project execution, which also requires physical contact. And this goes from taking care of a farm project or growing some crops or even attending to school or an after-school program. All the project execution require physical contact, not only between them, but also between a lot of the participants that are involved in the projects. They were also involved in income generation activities. This is also involved with farming, involved with grinder activities, and many other activities like workshops, for example, as well, that were producing an income for our different project partners in El Salvador, in every region in general. So, of course, with COVID-19, all this was gone. Everyone was forced to quarantine, at least in many countries of Latin America. This doesn't include specifically Nicaragua, because the measurements that the president took over there and the government in general were not as strict as the other countries, but many of our project partners in that region decided to do quarantine and to isolated them into their houses. So all of the work that they were used to do changed very quickly from night to day. And this really impacted a lot of the work that our project partners do. because as you can imagine, for us in Latin America, physical contact is something very, very important, very special. And even if you don't have COVID-19, even if you just are um, keeping yourself at your house because you want to protect everyone else and you want to protect yourself as well, these in mental health terms has a lot of impact because we tend to want to solve our problems and to solve difficult or traumatic situations with accompaniment, physical accompaniment, physical support. We need a hug, we need, you know, just in general physical contact. So to be working from far away was a really challenging situation for many of our project partners, but they were so committed that they find many ways to make the community work, make the community activities work for everyone, not only for the staff, but also for the participants in the communities in general. So they went from all of these that I just mentioned to this, to more institutional alliances because they needed maybe another type of support that they didn't really need it before COVID-19. So they were creating through technology, different alliances with institutions, including IPM, that were solving some of the immediate needs inside the communities. They have been also developing food sovereignty projects because income has not been the same as you can imagine. Not only for the projects that work directly in income generation activities, but also for the project partners that doesn't. Many of the institutions or the organizations that were supporting them in many ways are no longer supporting them because of the global economic crisis that COVID has brought with it. So a way to solve the income project, the income difficulties, I'm sorry, they started different food sovereignty projects that allow them to grow their own food. They didn't need now to go to a supermarket or to the market, to El Mercado, to buy a lot of the stuff that they bought before, vegetables, fruits, etc. But now they can grow them in their gardens, in their communities. And so this is a solution that they have found to the economic crisis all over the countries and all over the world, I would say. They have also developing different strategies and techniques in terms of technology. Many of our project partners already knew how to use many technology. They use Facebook, they use WhatsApp and other different tools in the cell phones or in their computers. But now I think this developing has been growing. Now they are more aware about Zoom, about different platforms that now we all use, I would say, to keep close communication with those institutions, with those people, with those family, with those friends that matter to us. And so I think this is great news. We were discussing just before the presentation that technology it's sometimes quite problematic, but looking at the bright side, it also allows us to keep close contact with one another, especially in these moments of physical distancing. So this has been great. So with technology development, we have been able, or our project partners have been able to do virtual activities that none of us imagined that we could do before. Like, for example, workshops, or for example, reunions, meetings, constant meetings, and many other activities that have really helped us to keep our organizations put together, and that also have allowed our project partners to continue with their commitment to their project, to justice, and in general to people. Another resilient way of working has been the new organizational groups that have been created. Because of COVID-19, a lot of our project partners have decided to create different committees, to create different groups that do not only serve to adapt in a better way to this new reality, but they have also seen that there are a lot of new needs. So because of this, they have created inside their organizations, inside their projects, different groups, which have new members, but also members that have been participating in the projects before. But this creation of the groups just show us how much effort they're really putting into the organization part of a project, which is the most important part of a project development, I would say, because without organization, there's no commitment and there are no activities, there is no work to be done. So the organizational part was one of the things that we feared that was gonna be really impacted because of physical distancing, but this was the total opposite, and this was a lesson learned from us, all of us in the region as well. So that has definitely created a big impact also in our project partners. And as I was saying, the increased organization. It has definitely in most of our project partners here in El Salvador, in Nicaragua, in the Dominican Republic, even and in Colombia, have also created more opportunities for more people as well. And when I'm talking about people, I'm talking about elderly population, about children, about youth, about women and men. So this increase of organization has gathered together a lot of population, a lot of different population sectors that are now working together in different objectives and in different activities. So this is really rewarding. And this is because I am calling this new work model resilient, because it has brought many positive results in the midst of COVID-19 in the project partners organizations. So because of all of this resiliency and because of the new way of working, we as a staff also needed to adapt and also needed to be resilient with this, with all these changes happening. And so we went from having regular visits, site visits, to visit our project partners once or two per month, and having event participation along with them, but also individually as a staff, and face-to-face or to provide face-to-face workshops as well. We went from all of this to be in constant communication. Of course, that this was no longer physical, but this wasn't a problem for us to keep constant communication. Some of the partners did not have access all the time to for example, the web, for example, Zoom, but we use calls, but we use WhatsApp. And so we know that each project partners have different needs, but also have different resources. And so we talk to all of them closely, and my colleague Aneta was also very involved in this communication with our project partners, which I would say she is a very empathetic leader to be in constant communication with our project partners and to know their needs and also their resources. So we feared that because of all the changes that were happening, because we were not gonna do regular visits anymore, that we will feel in many ways distance, and not only in terms of physical distance, but also in terms of social distance and work distance. And so we thought that this was going to affect us. But Eneida managed to identify the resources that our project partners have and to communicate constantly, sometimes once per week, sometimes once per month. And so with all the resources with all the different resources that our project partners had, we got to have a really regular and constant communication with them. And so I think this is one of the new ways that we have discovered of working with them. And it was even more constant communication than it was before. So this was also another lesson learned from us. We also we are providing regular donations and are having relief response. I know IPM has never been a relief organization. This has never been like a main characterized or a main characteristic from IPM, but I think that we cannot turn our backs to the immediate needs and the emergencies that have been occurring in our different regions and our different countries. All this COVID crisis has brought not only economic problems, but also health problems, also housing problems, also food problems, as I was mentioning before. So to accompany our projects in a very empathetic way, we needed to also respond in the way that we could to these immediate needs. And so sometimes this requires to have relief responses and to provide regular donations. So in these past months, we have been donating not only financial or economic support. We have not only been providing this, but we have also managed to contact different organizations and different people that are pouring their solidarity into these donations. And so we have managed to provide different donations in terms of medicine, in terms of construction materials when the housing was damaged because of a tropical storm, for example. This also includes financial support and many other types of support. So this is a way that our staff has managed to support our project partners in these difficult times for everyone. We also have encountered a new way of providing workshops. And I think this space of the workshops are very important. I think that as I was mentioning before, mental health has been affected in our project partners in many ways, including us as a staff, including us as people, as persons, you know. And so to have a space to manage self-care and to discover new tools that can help us to manage all the emotions, to manage all the situations that we have been struggling with. It's a very valuable thing to do. It's a valuable space. And so many of our project partners have requested workshops about how to manage stress, how to manage your emotions in general, how also to handle the loss of a family or a friend because of COVID-19, and many other themes, but most of them actually are related with mental health. And so my colleagues, Ada and Victoria, did the first pilot workshop while they were stuck in the Dominican Republic. And we learned that this was a way that in which we were able to work with our project partners from the distance, but not letting these needs ignored. And so from this moment, we learned that we could continue to do this virtual workshop. So right now we're preparing different workshops. We are able to send them through WhatsApp, to upload them to YouTube, and sometimes to use these platforms as Zoom to be live and to be working together with our project partners. So this has been a new work model that we're still adapting to, but we think that it's very resilient, and that we need to continue to level with our project partners, because they are also they are in constant change. So we also need to adapt to the changes that they're going through, and so that we can accompany one another close, walking together, walking side by side in these difficult situations. So now I want to share with you through images. These presentations from now on are not going to be full of words, because as they say, an image says more than 1,000 words. So I would like to share with you images, and I would like to maybe share some ideas, some thoughts, and some information that I think that you would appreciate to know about our project partners. And I would like to start with Patronato Lidia Cuyola. So we're gonna talk first about the successes that project partners have been having, and then some challenges that they have been facing, that through the visits that we were able to make after the quarantine, now that El Salvador is reopened, that we were able to know and to find out from each project partner. So with Patronato Lidia Cuyola, we met 1 week ago, and they were sharing with us a lot of things that have been happening in their projects. So one of the latest successes that they have been having is the alliances with different institutions, with different people all over the world. And so by these alliances, they manage to provide biofilters to many people inside the communities. These biofilters helps the people inside the community to have clean water. So now with these tools, with these biofilters, people can have access to clean water. And having access to clean water should be a responsibility from the state, from the government. But because this is not something that is happening, at least here in El Salvador, and I would say in many countries of Latin America, our organizations are accomplishing are providing this support, are providing this right to many people. And to have clean water in the midst of COVID-19, it's so important, not only to drink, but also to wash our hands, to keep everything clean in our houses, to prevent not only COVID-19, but other types of diseases. Also, so I think this it's a great impact, and has a great impact in the community. Another of the successes that Patronato Lidia Cuyola has had is the through the alliances that they have managed to create with different institutions, including IPM, is to provide basic food baskets regularly to the members of the community. And this doesn't only include the children that are studying in the kindergarten, but also their parents, their families, and many other people inside the community that keep a close relationship with Patronato. So this is also the right for many people, you know, to have access to food, and to also have access to healthy food. So Patronato Lidia Cuyola doesn't only take care of providing food, but also that the food is in a good quality, and that promotes health and not disease. Another great success that, and this has been very, very motivational for me, personal, and a complete inspiration, is that through the different alliances that Patronato Lidia Cuyola has managed to make, they have been developing a group of women that attend many needs of their community, that do not only work in gender, but also work in other topics inside the community. So they have been gathering together with physical distance, using their masks, and using all the the measurements that are adequate to keep everyone safe, including themselves. And they have been working together in how to manage different situations, how to manage violence, how to manage stress, how to manage a better mental health, how to manage children in quarantine, how to manage education for their children, and many other topics. And they have been working alongside with an institution that has provided not only information, not only formation as well, but also different materials that they need to accomplish different tasks. So we met with them. The woman that you see in the picture, her name is Josefa, and she told me in the meeting that we had at Patronato 1 week ago that she thought that this group of women, of leaders that they created before COVID-19, with all this physical separation, was going to disappear, but it happened totally the opposite. So now they are more organized than ever, and they have been working not only in these workshops, but also they have managed to provide different support to the most vulnerable families. So the families that need food the most, that need more access to water or electricity, or they also managed to identify the housing situation for many families that were struggling with this. So they, through these alliances, got to provide support to all these families and to all these people inside their community. So this was very impressive for us as a staff from IPM. Another thing that they have been working on, this group of women, this group of leaders from El Saite and from other different communities around El Saite, is growing their own crops. So they have been building projects that are related to family gardening. And so the women have involved not only themselves into this activity, but they have also involved, they have shared this knowledge and this interest with their children, with their family in general. So now many of the families in El Saite and in other close communities have now access to their own gardens. So they're growing different crops. They're growing tomatoes, they're growing cucumber and other fruits and vegetables. And they do not only use this for self-consumption, but also the idea is to later create an initiative that they can all benefit from. So now talking a little bit about the challenges. For many years, Patronato Lidia Cuyola has been dealing with a very difficult situation, and is the bathroom situation for the children. So as you can see, they do not have washable bathrooms, as we call them here in El Salvador, but they have latrines. And many of the kids do not learn how to go to the bathroom properly because they're scared of these latrines, because they're scared of the of how they are built, because it's really dark, it doesn't have any electricity, and so it's just a scary process for them. And so this is not allowing them to grow into good practices and good habits in terms of self-hygiene. And so this has been a challenge for many years for Patronato, and we're definitely wanting to support this change. They want to have a dignified bathroom situation for the children, and you can see how they look. Many of the kids really do not want to go in there, and so they find other ways. And this doesn't only represent a challenge for the kids' growth, but also for the staff of Patronato Lidia Cuyola. And so this is like one of the most challenging situations that El Patronato is facing right now, and that we, through different activities and through different ways, want to support the rebuilding of this infrastructure of the bathrooms at the kindergarten. Now passing through Acomujersa. Acomujersa, as you all know, it's a group of women that created a cooperative. Now they have also involved men in this cooperative, and they work with textiles, making clothes and different products that are artisanal, that everything is handmade, and they try to gain a little bit of our roots through every piece of art that they make, every product that they make. And so the successes that this project has been having, in first place, they in the beginning of the year, they started to work with the government, especially with the education ministry in the country, in El Salvador. And so the government asked for them to accomplish different uniforms for the kids to attend school. This was, as I was saying, at the beginning of the year, so we didn't really know that the kids were not going to attend school until December and maybe until January of next year. But they got this big project, they got involved. They were really excited about it, but also they were a little bit preoccupied as well, a little bit worried, because it was one of the largest orders that they have managed with the government. And now we can say that they completed this task in the due date. So now they're only waiting for the payment of the government, because the government at the beginning was a little skeptic about their work, and they didn't really because they knew that the kids were not no longer attending school until December. They didn't wanted it to make the payment, but because the order was completed and they pour all their hearts, their minds, and their soul into this project, now they have come into an agreement with the government that they are going to receive the payment. And so they're just waiting to do that. But it was a big challenge at first, but now we can call it a success, because it was one of the largest orders that they have managed with the government. And another one was the alliance that they managed to make with an organization, with a nonprofit organization. Their nonprofit organization asked for different masks, and so they were able to make many masks, and of course gain some income. As you can imagine, the people are not buying a lot of their products right now because they don't see it as a priority. So this project really helped with the income of the project. One of the challenges that they shared with us was that they want to buy their own establishment, because right now they're paying rent for the establishment in which they're in. And so they say that this is like not investing in something of their own. And because of the income difficulties, it has been really hard for them to complete the payment. So right now they're thinking on formulating a project which they have asked for our help as a staff as well, to start looking for their own property and to buy this property. So I think this is a very big challenge they have, but we know that with a lot of effort, we are all gonna be able to do this. So now I would like to talk about ACACPAMO. This is also a group of 4 women right now that are involved in different activities, income generating activities, but community developing activities as well. And so one of the biggest successes they have had is to keep on going with their projects, with their grinder project, with the water project that they manage, with the artisanal or handmade project. Although some of these activities have been affected because of COVID-19, and it has created a big impact for their income, they have managed to find different solutions and strategies to not only sell and have like the income that they were having before COVID-19, but also to create new ideas and to create many dreams, to innovate, as is one of the favorite words of our of Conchita, which is one of the leaders of the project. So they're always innovating in Acapamo. But they also have challenges. And one of the most hard challenges, I would say, and that they share with us is health. They have, many of them have been struggling with COVID-19. We are gladly to are sharing with you that that they're better now, that they recuperate from this virus. Uh, but not only COVID-19 has been the only disease that has been affecting many of the members of the cooperative. Anita is now suffering, which is the woman that you see at your left. Anita has been struggling with health issues, and she's suffering from the thyroid. And they are all in many ways struggling with their health, and they do not have access to a proper health insurance. So this is definitely a challenge. They want to now create an emergency fund for their health, and so they are trying to share these difficult situations with all the institutions which they have alliance with, to create this fund, which I think, as I was saying in the past, in the presentation, this is the right of these people. But because the government and the people that are responsible for having this right completed, a lot of the organizations, including IPM, are the ones that are attending this support. But it's also very important to make the call to the state and to the government to really provide the people with their human rights, like health, for example, especially in this COVID crisis. We also I also wanted to share one of the successes and the challenges of our project partners, IDES. This is an organization that is in a very rural area of El Salvador, that work with 16 different communities in different initiatives that are related to agriculture. And so one of the successes is that at the beginning of the year, IPM got to make a donation for them. With this donation, they created family gardens, as you can see to your left, to your right, but they also created a chicken farm. And right now they have 100 chicks that they're planning to sell on December, not only for self-consumption, but also to gain some income. And it's really wonderful the work they're doing. These 6 people that you see in the left picture are the participants, are the leaders of this project, and it's a very integrated group, a very integrated participants, because you can not only see that there are adults in this project, but there are also youth people, and there are men and women working together. So I think this is really beautiful to see, and we have high hopes for this project, and we are going to provide all the accompaniment that this project and that this specific initiative needs. And one of the challenges that they have at IDES is that they have an after-school program, just as Patronato Lidia Coyola does, but the rooftop in which the classes are provided is very damaged. And so with the winter, but also with the summer coming, this is not like a very dignified space for the kids to be receiving the classes. So they're focusing on getting alliances with different institutions to solve this need. Now I would like to share about Nutravida's successes and challenges as well. Nutravida is a soy program that provides support, nutritional support to a lot of members of the community, around 200 people in the community to be specific, and different families as well. And they also sell some soy products. So the successes are that they have managed to support, despite of the crisis, to the same population that they were attending at the beginning of the year. They didn't have to cut anyone off the project. And so they have been providing through the quarantine and through, and still right now, with the reopening of the country, they reopen as well. And so they have been provided this nutritional support for kids, youth, for women, elderly, and men in the community. And one of the challenges that they have is the selling of their product. As you know, a lot of people are still not going out as much of their houses. So they have managed to sell their products in the establishments that they had in the past. IPM is also buying some of their products, but they want to do more alliances, because in many ways the selling of the products support this nutritional support that they give and that they provide to the families in Mexicanos community here in El Salvador. Now to talk a little bit about other regions of Latin America, I would like to share with you a few words about Centro de Formación para la Paz, which is education or formation center for peace. They have been struggling. The main challenge is that they have the kids of the project and the women of the project have not been able to gather together. So this has created a lot of stress, a lot of distress as well for both of them, for the children and for the women. Technology is more difficult in this project and in this area of Colombia. So they have not been able to be in constant communication, which has represented a lot of distance. But now, a few days ago, they reopened the country as well. And so they're trying to follow the measurements and to get back together to continue their work. And we're happy to say that IPM has been provided to all these project partners that I'm mentioning. We're still missing some of them, but a lot of the project partners have already received their annual donation, and this includes Colombia. And with this annual donation, they managed to buy some kits from the children of the project to continue their education. Marta, which is the leader of the project, shared with us that she was very worried about mental health for kids because many of them are suffering from difficult situations in their houses. And so they wanted it to provide like, without calling it this way, but like a mental health kit to help the kids to manage different situations in their houses. So they bought this material and they are providing this to the children to help them get through these difficult moments in their lives. Now, I would also like to share a little bit about Mujer y Comunidad. They have been working with women despite the physical distancing situation. They have been attending violence or domestic violence cases during the quarantine and after the quarantine. As I mentioned before, they didn't really have quarantine in their country, but they were very strict with the measurements. And so I think one of the main challenges that they have been facing is the revolving fund program, because this fund really creates opportunity for many women. And it's very wonderful to see how women create different project or initiative that provide incomes, like to set like, for example, a shop to sell shoes, to sell clothes, to sell food, to start a farm project, for example. They work with pigs, they work with cows and chickens, etc. But with all this happening, a lot of their incomes have been reduced, and so they have not been able to pay some of the loans that they made. But despite all of this, the women from Mujer y Comunidad have been following up with all of them, and they have not been putting more pressure or adding more pressure to the women inside the community. So I think this is not only a proof of solidarity, but also commitment of the staff of Mujer y Comunidad. And so to solve a little bit of this problem of the challenge, they have been trying to make more alliances with more institutions that can provide more funds for this program. And now to finalize with the presentation, I would like to share a little bit about CEPROSI. It's a very similar situation as with Mujer y Comunidad. The main challenge that they have been having is the revolving loan fund. They have been working still in the different initiatives and providing accompaniment to the women that have requested loans. But the women have not been able to pay in the due date. So because of this, they have extended the date. This is one of the ways that they have found to provide support to the women. And they have also been creating different groups, different organizations, and new groups and organizations to keep constant communication through WhatsApp, through Skype, or through Zoom as well. So this is one of the tools that they have found that is working, but they are still looking for more organizations to provide with support and help for all the challenges that they are facing. And so we can ask ourselves, from our different regions, from our different parts of the world, what can we do to support the growth and the developing of this program? And so I want to propose to you 3 different ways that we can support them, all this resiliency of our project partners. The first one is to share the word about their work in different platforms, in different groups or spaces to help other people learn about what they are doing. And maybe with this sharing, they can get involved, not only financially, but in many other ways. And I think this it's as valuable as financial support. The other one is to share the word about our new virtual immersion experience program. To get more people involved in these programs is also a way of supporting our project partners, not only here in El Salvador, but in all the region of Latin America, and including the other regions that we're working with, including Kenya, but also South Asia. So to share the word about and to educate a lot of people about this project, about this program, this virtual program, is also supporting our project partners in many ways. And the last one is to support a campaign that we are going to release in November. This campaign will serve for the Latin American region, and we're also thinking on creating the same initiative with the other regions that we work with, but we wanted to make this a pilot. And so we are going to be sharing with you some of the needs that our project partners have in the region, and many of them are already the ones that I have already shared with you. But yeah, to support this campaign will be to be supporting the needs of these groups in the different parts of the world, in the different parts of Latin America, sorry. So this is what we can do. And to finalize with the presentation, I would like to share with you a quote that I have already shared in other presentations as well, but I think it's so beautiful and it's so truth that I think it's worth to repeat. So it says that solidarity is not the same as support. To experience solidarity, we must have a community of shared interests, beliefs, and goals around which to unite. Support can be occasional. It can be easily given and just as easy to withdraw. Solidarity requires a sustained and ongoing commitment. And so I think our project partners have maintained their commitment through time. And I think we, as people, as professionals, as social leaders, as people that just want to share their solidarity need to sustain the commitment as well. So this is my invitation for you, and I would like to thank all of you for listening to me and for participating. So thank you very much, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you, Adela. That was absolutely excellent. And it was really what I needed to hear after a couple of weeks of trying to be tech free and feeling a little bit distant from the IPM family. And I just marvel at what the three of you have been able to do out of our regional office in Latin America and the Caribbean, but particularly the dedicated commitment and remarkable work of all of our partners there, as well as our partners in other parts of the world. So just wonderful, wonderful presentation. Yesterday, when we met with the folks from Christ Crossman, which is a Methodist congregation in Virginia, we really talked about these three fundamental principles at the heart of IPM, of accompaniment, solidarity, and trust. And I've always loved the poetry and writing of bell hooks and have been grateful for the reminder of this quote that Adela shared, and also her connection with so many other people that are speaking truth at this very difficult time in the history of our planet and our community. We went a little long, but I think Adela is probably able, if there are any questions or comments that you'd like to add at this point. We'll also see about sending out the Zoom video or audio feed of this to our board and some other members. I think, Ilse, it'd be really worthwhile to send this out really to everybody who we normally invite to participate today, since we have a relatively smaller crowd as people are getting back adjusted to school and work. But I'd like to free it up now if anyone has any questions or comments. I've been monitoring the Facebook feed, and there's been a wonderful dialogue going on there between, really partners and friends around the world, including Terry Matuku, who's sort of asking about the relevance of this kind of work, and particularly resiliency, what some of us have been calling grit for a number of years now, growing resiliency through international transformation, kind of at the heart of IPM's work in this time. And she's commenting about the relevance in Kenya. Also had a really interesting post and comment from some of our friends, in El Salvador. Sorry about that. I'm not sure how to mute that while opening that. But from Melissa Altman and others in El Salvador about the importance of this work, and kind of affirming what Adela had to say about what's happening, particularly among the Salvadoran partners. So does anyone have any questions or comments, concerns, issues they'd like to raise at this point for Adela to address? And again, given the time, please feel free to disconnect if you need to move on with your day. Hi, Kathy. You're muted, Mom. I think you're muted.
Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you.
I'm not sure she knows how to unmute herself. We just...
There we go. Hi.
There she's done it.
Wonderful presentation. Hi, Mahesh.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Great to see everyone.
Larry or Jim, do you have a...
I want to say also, I really love the quote on solidarity at the end, but I think that's a real challenge for all of us here to, we talk a lot about these things, but that kind of, that quote, hit me really hard, to really do solidarity is maybe a lot harder than just speaking the words. It goes a lot deeper. So I think that's a real challenge to us to keep that in mind.
Definitely.
Thanks, Jim. And I'm going to pull, I agree with you completely. And I'll tell you that this past Sunday, as I was sort of, heading back to life in Maine, I was talking to Doug Horner, a long-term board member of ours, who had spent the past week in Minnesota and had visited the George Floyd Memorial and had met with many of his friends doing anti-racism work there. And Doug directed me or asked if I had listened to that day's On Being. If you don't know On Being, it's available online. It's on public radio. Krista Tippett is a Yale Divinity grad, as well as Doug and I, and just does wonderful interviews and programs that airs on most public radio early Sunday morning. But she rebroadcast, and Adela, you would love listening to this as well. She rebroadcast an interview she did with Angel, spelled as Angel, Kyodo, Kyodo Williams, that was entitled "The World is Our Field of Practice." The world is our field of practice. And again, it broadcast, I guess I wasn't driving back here, but in any case, it broadcast on September 10th. I can't remember exactly when I listened to it, but it's a podcast On Being, again, with Krista Tippett. You can just find On Being online if you haven't seen that already as a podcast, and it's with Angel Kyodo Williams. And the reason I bring it up is she's also an admirer of Bell Hooks and Bell Hooks's writing, and she speaks specifically to the challenge of solidarity, as you're saying, Jim, and I think we're all feeling in the times in which we live, not only because of the political climate, but because of the physical distancing that's been enforced upon so many of us. And also, I'm sure, Jim, I mean, I can only imagine what you're feeling now, and other friends I know have shared on the West Coast with the wildfires, with the tropical storms, with everything else that's keeping us distant and feeling anxious. So I wanted to point that out, because solidarity is certainly a difficult practice, but it's also at the core of what IPM has always tried to stand for. So. Larry, did you have a thought? It looked like you might have been. You're muted as well. Sorry. Larry, I think you're muted as well, or we didn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We can now, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. My question is, will this series continue each week now on Fridays?
That's our intention. That's our intention.
This year of pandemic and rupture.
Hold on a minute.
Find that at onbeing.org or wherever you
Somehow my On Being link just came on.
Okay. It's the intention to do so, right?
Yes, it is, Larry.
Okay, good.
It's our intention to continue with the English forums each Friday. We will not be continuing with the Spanish language forum. We made that decision yesterday. The staff and I, after consulting with the partners, as Latin America opens up, people are really quite overwhelmed right now with their responsibilities for their family, themselves, and their community. And so we're going to probably do a monthly Spanish language forum, but we haven't set the next date for that at this point. But we hope to continue with the English language forums. And I think Ilse knows, maybe Ilse, you can share the schedule of the next couple, if you have that in front of you.
I don't have it in front of me, but I know that next week's presentation, Mahesh will be sharing an update. And then the following week, Alyssa will share more about our meal assessments with our partners. And beyond that, we will post the schedule on Facebook and also include that in our email.
Well, it was a wonderful introduction, and we trust it will continue and be broadened. And I think we're very fortunate to have our staff leadership. and we applaud that.
I'll second that.
And we have my partner here with me, and we'll look forward to it. As I said, and we like the way you have suggested for contributing to the program through the various things and specific. I certainly would like to know how much the rent or purchase price might be for the women doing the clothing and other things. Do you have any idea? For their building or whatever they're looking for rental?
Right now, we actually we're going to visit them on Monday to maybe get a little bit of more clarity on the local that they're, trying to look for and the price as well. So once we know, we will share with you the project that we create. Mm-hmm.
Good, because I remember visiting their work when we were there. Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, thank you very much, and God bless us all, guys.
Of course. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Em.
Thank you.
Thank you, Em. Anyone else have any other comments or questions at this point?
I just wanted to real quickly add, as a colleague, how wonderfully blessed I feel to work with such incredible folks regionally. I mean, we talk about the importance of solidarity and that being a core principle of IPM. And, if it wasn't for our regional staff who live out our mission and all of our intentions around the world locally, I don't know if we could just see this kind of impact in the world. And I'm just really very grateful, Adela, to you for your leadership, to Adela, Vicky, Mahesh, Hemet, Sony, Fumati, all of the people around the world, as IPM's regional colleagues who really are living out our work. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
feel the same way. Thank you, Ilse.
Okay, thanks, Adela.
Just a quick reminder that these weekly forums in English will continue for at least the next couple of months. And as Ilse said, next week we'll be pleased to be joined by Mahesh Upadhyaya, who's our long-term regional director for the South Asia office. That'll be on September 25th. On October 2nd, Alyssa Bovell will be updating us on her monitoring, evaluation, and assessment and learning process around IPM's response to COVID-19. On October 9th, I'll be providing an organizational update in light of the pandemic and a number of considerations we're looking at as we head into the year end, particularly around our new virtual programming and the opportunities for your participation in that. And on Friday, October 16th, Jacinta, who is the new coordinator of Watoto Walawanga in the Kibera slum or community of Nairobi, Kenya, will be speaking about their work there. So we'll look forward to having you all join us as you're able over the coming month. And we hope that you'll remain safe and take good care of yourselves during this difficult time for all of us, and to keep especially those who are in the midst of human-made and climate-made crisis now with the wildfires and the storms that are impacting so much of our world. So may the peace that passes all understanding be with you all, and have a wonderful weekend. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Big hugs.
Bye, Kathy, Papa Joe.
Bye.
Bye.